This video isn't about whether she finds you attractive. These are the signs. She's emotionally available and ready for someone like you. This kind of openness goes beyond surface-level flirting. It's real grounded, and often the difference between a woman who's just passing time and a woman who's genuinely ready for something meaningful. But here's the problem. These signals are subtle signs that 99% of guys completely miss. If you don't know what to watch for, you'll waste time on women who can't give you what you want. But once you do, you'll know exactly who's ready and who isn't. By the end of this, you'll know how to spot a woman who's open to real connection. Pay attention to number 3 and number 7. Those are the ones that separate available from unavailable. Let's get into it. 1. As she engages with your life instead of just talking about hers. You're having a conversation and something feels different. She's not just waiting for her turn to speak. She's asking about your week, your work, your interests. She follows up on things you mentioned last time you talked. She's genuinely curious about your life. This is reciprocal investment, and it's the first sign of emotional availability. Unavailable women center conversations on themselves. They need attention, but don't want to give it back. Available women understand that connection is two-way. They're interested in you, not just in being interesting to you. Here's what to watch for. The balance. Is she asking as much as she's sharing? Is she remembering details from past conversations and bringing them up again? If she's investing energy in knowing you, she's emotionally present enough to build something real. And if she's engaging with your life, notice how she handles her past. 2. She talks about her past without bitterness. The conversation turns to previous relationships. And you notice something. She speaks about her ex or her history without venom. There's no lingering anger, no obsessive rehashing, no victim narrative that dominates the way she tells the story. This is processed history, and it signals emotional readiness. Everyone has a past, but emotionally available. Women have done the work to make peace with theirs. They can reference old relationships without spiraling into resentment or reopening old pain. They've healed enough to move forward without dragging the past behind them. Here's the tell. How does she frame what happened? Does she take responsibility for her part? Does she speak with perspective rather than bitterness? If she can discuss old wounds without letting them bleed all over the present, she's ready to create something new. But if she's processed her past, watch how she talks about the future. 3. She expresses what she wants without apology. You ask what she's looking for, and she answers clearly. She wants a real relationship. She's done with games. She knows what matters to her and isn't afraid to say it out loud, even if it might scare some men away. This is confident clarity, and it's a hallmark of emotional availability. Unavailable women hedge. They say things like, "I'm just seeing what happens," or "I don't want to put pressure on anything." They protect themselves by staying vague, because they're not actually ready to commit to wanting something specific. Here's the key. She's not desperate. She's not demanding. She's simply clear. She knows her worth and what she's looking for. And she's not going to pretend otherwise, to seem easygoing or low maintenance. Still doubting her willingness to go deep might tell you everything. And Dane, besin decisive for she's willing to go deep in conversation. The small talk fades, and she doesn't retreat. When the conversation turns to meaningful topics, values, fears, dreams, beliefs, she engages fully. She doesn't deflect with jokes or steer back to safer ground. She meets you there. This is emotional depth capacity. And it separates the available from the guarded. Unavailable women keep things surface level. Because depth feels threatening, they're protecting themselves from intimacy. Whether they realize it or not, available women welcome depth because they're ready for real connection. They're not afraid of what they might feel. Here's what to watch for. Does she seem uncomfortable when things get serious? Or does she lean in? If she matches your emotional depth, instead of running from it, she's open to the kind of connection that actually matters. And if she goes deep, notice how present she is. 5. She's fully present. When she's with you, you're having coffee together and her phone buzzes. She ignores it. Someone waves at her from across the room. She acknowledges them briefly and returns her attention to you. Her focus stays locked, undivided. Like you're the only person in the room. This is presence commitment, and it reveals where her priorities are. Emotionally unavailable women are always half somewhere else. They're distracted, scanning the room, mentally checked out even when they're physically there. But available women understand that connection requires attention. They give it willingly and fully. Here's the tell. Does she seem like she'd rather be somewhere else? Or does she seem like this moment with you matters? If she's fully present, phone down, eyes on you, engaged completely, she's capable of